No limit mo. Back at it. Man. This feels good, man. This feels good, man. First video in the channel. About to be up. Now, I was watching like the first 30 seconds of this and I was like, man, this would be a good reaction for the people, bro. So there's this anime, or not even anime. They should make this an anime, to be honest, and it'll take over. But a manga called Vagabond about Musashi Muto. I forgot how to say his name, but there's this book about him. I think it's called like Five Elder Rings. Something. I might be getting all this wrong information wrong, but there's a book about a samurai who's supposed to be like one of the greatest samurai in Japanese history, bro. And you know, man, I love samurais, bro. Like if I could get us, when I'm up, man, you gonna have the samurai display in the back, all that. You know what I'm saying? We gonna be shming. We gonna be shminging. But let's get into this video, man. It's called The Flow of Water: Life Lessons from Vagabond. Now, I'm thinking about buying the first volume and then probably do like a little like review, you know what I'm saying, of the manga. Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all would fuck with that. But yeah, I'm trying to, bro, a lot of content on the way. Before I start this video, a lot of content on the way, bro. So, you know what I'm saying? Follow the journey, man. Follow the journey. Let's get right into it, though. Vagabond.
The great pleasure of reading one of the greatest manga of all time, with the story and art that are still unmatched to this day. That manga is Takehiko Inoue's Vagabond. Story of Musashi Miyamoto.
Who made this?
That manga is Takehiko Inoue's Vagabond. Story of Musashi Miyamoto, the legendary sword saint. Starts off with him being called Shinmen Takezo.
Also, another thing, I've seen the art to this manga a lot. Like when I was on Twitter. And the art is like nice, bro. Like, look at the details, and you know what I'm saying. Like, it's really, really
a violent
really nice
and brooding teenage warrior who wants to be invincible under the sun, to be the greatest warrior who ever lived. As we go through Musashi's life, he gradually changes and matures, and reevaluates what's important in his life and what exactly he wants to fight for. The story of Musashi and many of the other characters in Vagabond have taught me some very important life lessons that have stuck with me to this very day and that I will continue to take from the rest of my life. Today, my dear viewers,
life lessons.
I just want to talk about some of the life lessons that I learned from reading Vagabond, in hopes that others who have read the manga will have experienced the same, and also to hopefully get new readers to experience this wonderful story. So sit back, relax, and expand your horizons.
Expand your horizons. So this is where I stopped. I was like, man, this would be a dope video, you know what I'm saying, to react to the viewers, to, you know what I'm saying, engage with me, learn with me, you know what I'm saying. We're here to learn every day, bro. We're not just here to watch bullshit on YouTube. Like, I don't want to sit on YouTube and watch nothing that will help me, you know what I'm saying, help benefit your life. That's why we're gonna react to this, man. The Flow of Water. Some Bruce Lee shit.
Focus on one leaf, you forget to see the tree. Focus on one tree, you forget to see the forest.
Hold up. All right, let's go back. Let's go. Focus on one leaf.
Get to see the tree.
You forget to see the tree.
Focus on one tree, you forget to see the forest.
Y'all picked up on that? Focus on one leaf, you forget to see the tree. You forget to see the tree for itself. It's perspective, man. You know what I'm saying? What was the other one?
Focus on one tree, you forget to see the forest.
You forget to, so you just
see everything in its entirety, effortlessly. This quote was said by the monk Takuan, who convinced Musashi to give life another try, and who gave him his name, Musashi Miyamoto. This advice was told to him at the beginning of his journey, but it wouldn't be something that Musashi would truly understand until much later. So Vagabond
is based on Musashi Miyamoto's, you know what I'm saying, experiences in life as a samurai. So that's what.
In my opinion, there are a few interpretations of this quote in the story and outside of the story as well. One being that to truly see with eyes unclouded, one cannot solely focus on one single thing, You must take everything into account, and to move through life in that way if you are to truly see. This idea has taken multiple forms in the manga. First one that comes to mind is when Musashi has a second fight with Inshun. Inshun is a spear-wielding prodigy of the Hozoin family, whose skill is said to be unmatched. A young Musashi at the beginning of his journey challenges him to a duel and is defeated in a spectacular fashion, causing Musashi to run away. Second duel was set, and in the meantime, Musashi began training with Inshun's grandfather, Ine. During the second duel, Musashi experiences something that is integral to the idea of seeing everything effortlessly. Musashi experiences a state of flow. A flow state is when a person is doing an action or is experiencing something without any distractions, that they are completely within the moment. They have no thoughts or preconceptions in their head.
And don't y'all realize, like, when y'all ever, like, so say when I'm playing basketball, bro, like, or like, you know when like a coach is always on you saying, shoot, do this, do that, do that, and it doesn't really let like your game flow. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing in life. Like let things flow, let things stream through. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not. It's once you put so much pressure on the things, it's like you almost like lose interest. If you get what I'm saying, bro.
They become one with the action that they are doing, and Musashi experiences this during his second duel with Inshun. It is the reason why he was able to win that duel in the first place. You see, focusing not on one tree, but the entire forest may seem like an impossible task, but everything becomes so much clearer if you're in a flow state. This is something that he learns again from Sasaki Kojiro, who is always in a flow state. When you're observing different things in your life, like the trees, the leaves, or the animals, you cannot have any judgmental thoughts. You are simply experiencing it all, and that is how you truly see something for what it is. To experience something fully.
Don't judge It's the same thing as like judging a book by its cover. You know what I'm saying? Instead of fully understanding and experiencing the book.
An interpretation that I have for this quote is to not limit yourself or to focus on one thing or think that you only have one option.
What do you say? Don't limit yourself. You know what we are. No limit
mode.
We don't limit on nothing.
Focus on one thing or think that you only have one option. For this quote is to not limit yourself or to focus on one thing or think that you only have one option. There are countless paths for your life to go down, and having attachments to only one or a few things can be detrimental in the long run.
I agree with that, man. Like, don't box yourself. You know, in life, like, don't cap yourself, bro. Like, if you have a goal and then you meet it, then you get comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, surpass that. Don't get comfortable. Keep going. You know what I'm saying? Elevate to heights that you didn't even think that were realistic. You feel me? Like, you can have a goal and then exceed that goal, and it was completely what you weren't expecting because you couldn't envision it. You know what I'm saying? Because or whoever judging you couldn't envision what your potential would have been.
You see this in the manga after Musashi defeats the rest of the Yoshioka clan. Paths for your life to go down, and having attachments to only one or a few things can be detrimental in the long run. You see this in the manga after Musashi defeats the rest of the Yoshioka clan, killing 70 men and getting injured in the process.
Damn,
this experience and his injury has Musashi questioning whether or not him solely focusing on the way of the sword and becoming invincible under the sun was actually a good thing for him, or was it actually holding him back? Musashi being so attached to these leaves of fighting and swordsmanship is stopping him from seeing the forest of what his life could be without these things. For me personally, I take both interpretations into account, and both of them has really helped me in my day-to-day life. Being more mindful and just observing life without judgment or thought has really helped me with my anxiety and my mood throughout the day.
Facts, man. Like, just not judging what you see, what you hear, you know what I'm saying? Just living life through your own experience with no judgment at all. That will give you a lot more peace of mind, free mind, and things of that nature, man.
Seeing things for what they actually are and not trying to force your own vision, anxiety, and my mood throughout the day. Seeing things without judgment or thought has really helped me with my anxiety and my mood throughout the day. Seeing things for what they actually are and not trying to force your own vision on it can be very difficult.
Seeing things for what they actually are. That's another thing of being a man. Instead of ducking and dodging and you know what I'm saying, holding it off, or I don't know what it could be. It could be like, I can't think of an example right now, bro.
But I think it's one of the best things that you can do for your mental health. Also, not focusing on the one or two ways that my life could go, but seeing the force of what my life can be has definitely helped me not be so afraid of.
That's what I was saying in the beginning. It's based on perspective. What your life can be, the potential of what you can be, not letting that potential die off of just not trying.
Future. Expand your horizons and focus not on the leaves or the trees in your life, but the whole forest. Another lesson from this arc that stood out to me was when Musashi first met Master Ine. Ine told Musashi that he could sense his bloodlust and that being on edge all the time was not great for him. This led Musashi to realize something later down the line, which was that the reason that people were always afraid or wanted to fight him was because of his projected bloodlust. He always thought that people were going to attack him even if they weren't going to, and that is because of the bloodlust that he has being projected onto other people. I always found this fascinating because it leads you to think of the different things that you are projecting onto other people or situations. You can walk into a room and think that everybody hates you, but you have to think about if that's just your feelings of the situation being put onto other people. It's always a good thing to be.
Energy is real, man. Energy, like this, is how I'm starting to like realize in my life, and like the energy you put is always reciprocated, bro. It's always gonna come back to you, good or bad. So that's why you gotta try the best to think positive, put your best foot forward, try your hardest, and no matter what it could be, bro. Like, just that's our pause.
Your thoughts and emotions so that something like this won't happen. Invincible is just a word. Being invincible under the sun is impossible. It is only a heat haze. Now these two lessons work in tandem with each other, and I think that they're some of the most impactful lessons.
Like, this is like a hood nigga can hear this and be like, damn, because like them, like they be thinking they're invincible. Not even just hood niggas. It could be like people that are like just so confident in what they're doing and they feel like that they're untouchable. You know what I'm saying? Like people go through life and thinking, oh, I'm untouchable. Oh, I can't get fired. Oh, I can't this. I can't that because of like, let's see, I don't know. It could be because of a job or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It could be anything. Like you're not invincible. You're not untouchable. No one is in life. That's impossible.
Now these
I
two
agree with
lessons
that.
work
That's
in tandem
facts.
with each other, and I think that they're
Man,
some of the
we're,
most
we're only 5 minutes in,
impactful
and there's a
lessons that
lot of
Musashi
lessons.
learns on his journey. When Musashi leaves from Miyamoto village to travel Japan in search of strong opponents, he does so with the goal of being invincible under the sun. But what does that really mean? What does it mean to be the strongest? To answer this question, and to challenge their leader to a duel, Musashi travels to the Yagyu clan in order to fight Seki Shusai, the master of the Yagyu. But when he gets there, he finds that Seki Shusai is an old man past his
Hold
days
up.
of fighting, but even the
I was in the
strongest.
bathroom. I don't know.
He does so with the goal of being invincible under the sun. But what does that really mean? What does it mean to be the strongest? To answer this question, and to challenge their leader to a duel, Musashi travels to the Yagyu clan in order to fight Seki Shusai, the master of the
Seki
Yagyu.
Shushai, the
But when
master
he
of the
gets there, he
Yaki.
finds that Seki Shusai is an old man past his days of fighting, but even in his old age, he has a warrior's presence in bloodlust. After sneaking into his home while he was asleep, Musashi asks Seki Shusai a question. What does it mean to be invincible? And Seki Shusai gives Musashi a straight answer. He says that invincible is nothing but a word. It is not something that can be attained. This meeting with Seki Shusai leads Musashi down a path of maturity and enlightenment as he ponders the words of Seki Shusai and his other master, Ine. Musashi was trying to attain the status of invincible under the sun for most of his life, but after hearing someone who is a master of the sword say to him that it isn't even real was definitely an eye-opening moment for Musashi, and will take him a while to repeat the same sentiment in his own way. After fighting and killing the 70 men of the Yoshioka clan, Musashi ponders about where his life should go and what he wants to do. But one of the main breakthroughs that came out of this was that even though he knew it from a long time before, he finally put it into his own words, that being invincible is not only a word, but a heat haze, something that is see-through and unattainable.
See-through. It
This
doesn't
was a huge
exist.
step for Musashi, finally putting the words to the feelings that he'd been having
Like
for
I
a
said
long
earlier,
time,
you can't. No
ever
one's
since he left the
untouchable,
Yagyu
bro.
clan, and after meeting Seki Shusai. This lesson is also important to me because I believe it teaches a very valuable lesson that just because you want something for your life doesn't mean that it's good for you or even possible.
There's another thing, and it's like like in Islam, bro, like God won't put things in your life that He knows isn't good for you. So if you really want to be rich and you're like, man, you're praying for it, you know what I'm saying? You're doing anything you can to be rich, and you don't be rich. Maybe God knows you can't have money because I know you'll leave me. You know what I'm saying? Like like it'll change you. You know? Because money changes people, bro. Success changes people. Like, this is facts.
You have to let your dreams die. Life doesn't mean that it's good for you or even possible. Sometimes you have to let your dreams die, especially if they come from a toxic place like Musashi. Musashi wanted to be invincible under
I
the
agree
sun
with that.
because of his abusive relationship with his father, who was a samurai. His father was very strong, respected, and feared for his strength. Musashi always wanted to live up to the standards of his father and eventually become stronger than him. This idea came from the toxic relationship that Musashi had with his father, which gave him an unreachable standard to try and live up to, and he later realizes that he can't because they aren't real. It's only a heat haze. It makes you wonder about what heat hazes you have in your own life that you think are real, and where do these ideas come from?
What he hates is y'all think y'all got in your own life. Something where you think a goal of yours where you think it's attainable, but it's really just a facade. It ain't real. It ain't like it ain't value into your life. Heat haze. That's what we're gonna call it. What heat haze? I don't know.
Musashi, you've grown kinder. All truly strong people are kind. These are two quotes that are said by Takuan when he met Musashi again in
I like
Kyoto.
that quote.
This quote is just phenomenal when taken into the context of Musashi's life prior to this. Back when he was in Miyamoto Village, he was seen as a
I
demon
like
child
that
who
quote.
everyone was afraid of. He was used to seeing scowls on people's faces as he passed them by, and just never feeling welcome. He took out this anger on a lot of people in the village, even killing a man when he was only 13 years old.
Damn.
Musashi has since grown more mature and definitely kinder than he was before. He sees the world from more than just a place for him to conquer. He realizes that his actions affects other people, and that he doesn't have to drive people away from him. Musashi's kindness led him to helping many people during his journey, including Kotetsu Honami, a famous sword polisher who now leads a simple, humble life with his wife. He also helped a family living out in the woods whose words would reinforce that Musashi's kindness has changed his life and others' lives for the better, and one of the most emotional scenes in the entire manga. We also have to mention when he helped the village's dying farmland and humbled himself and brought food to them. Musashi's kindness time and time again proves Takuan's point that strong people are kind, because Musashi sticks up for the people in need, and he always does so without expecting a reward in return. This
That's
idea
another
of
key
kindness means
thing. Another key thing in life, man. Don't do things and expect things in return, man. Because then it's just like, did you really mean it? Did you really? If you did something out of kindness and expected something in return, did you really mean it? Nah, in my opinion, no. Let me know what y'all think, man.
is definitely something that I've taken into my own life. Your willingness to help another person in need is a showcase of true strength, and not someone using their power to get what they want.
I think that's one of the greatest acts. Helping people in need, inspiring. It's just one of the greatest acts in life.
I don't have a quote for this next section, because it's really this character and his arc that gave me a lot of great insights, and is one that has touched me emotionally as well. And that character is Matahachi. Now throughout Vagabond, we see that Matahachi is the complete opposite of Musashi. Musashi is brave, fearless, and violent, where Matahachi is meek, sleazy, and cowardly. The only reason why they become friends in the first place is because Matahachi would just follow Musashi around, and Musashi, or Takezo as he was known as before, would just feel sorry for him and would let Matahachi follow along. Matahachi's character arc is one that I believe we can all take something from, but for me personally, it really affected me. Matahachi is a liar, a schemer, and an honorless person who
Sounds like
lies to people so he
Usopp.
can attain some sort of status and make some money. We see this when he lies about being Sasaki Kojiro, a renowned samurai known for his immense skill. And when he gets called out for it and almost gets killed, it's only mere luck that saved him. He even tries to exploit the real Sasaki Kojiro so he can gain some status with the Yoshioka clan. He goes so far as to say that his name and Sasaki's name are spelled slightly differently so he can keep up with his past lie. I know I'm not painting Matahachi in the best light right now, and neither does the manga, but what makes Matahachi such a great character is twofold. One being that he is a realistic depiction of somebody who lives in a hostile and dangerous world, just scraping ahead to get by.
It's just, I mean, not to compare mangas, but it's like Usopp, bro. Usopp's cowardly, scared, but he wants to be brave in a world that's like, damn, like, if you're a normal person in that type of world, if we're talking about One Piece, you'd be scared as shit too. So it's just like this guy, he's in a crazy world, like world, and he's terrified, he's scared, just like regular human emotions. You know what I'm saying? He's not invincible, or he doesn't think he's invincible like Musashi.
How his journey leads him to reevaluate
That's regular
his choices
human emotion. That's why
and
a
to
lot
lead a
of people
more
can
honest
relate
life
to
in the
these
future.
kind of characters.
Towards the later half of the manga, Matahachi's mother, Osugi, dies after searching after him for years.
Damn.
This leads to Matahachi really looking at his life and where he wants it to go. For years he has lied and schemed his way through life, not really thinking of the consequences. But when his actions are at the expense of his mother, he decides to head down a new path in life where he is honest and doesn't try to be more than he is. What really gravitates me to Matahachi and
another key thing, doesn't try to be more than what you are, or what he doesn't try to be more than what he is. A lot of people try to be more than what you really are, man. Just be simple, be you. Stay true to yourself, man. Stay 10 toes down, nigga.
That it reminds me a lot of myself when I was younger. When my shortcomings didn't lead to drastic consequences like Matahachi's did, I do recognize what it's like to strive to be a better person and to be a more honest person. Another thing that's interesting about the development for Matahachi is that he still makes mistakes and slips up from time to time. But that goes to show that on the road to self-betterment, it won't be a smooth path. But if we take the time and care to walk the path, the benefits and just how you'll feel will be much greater for it. This last section has a lesson that I just can't sum up with a few quotes from the manga, and in my opinion, it is one of the most important lessons that I think this manga teaches. It certainly affected how I think and move through life. This lesson has to do with water. Yes, good old H2O, but not just water itself, but what water represents. Water is a liquid, and like any liquid, it takes the form of whatever is holding it or acting upon it. Like the classic Bruce Lee quote, if you put water in a cup, it becomes the cup. Water can take various forms based on what external factors is acting upon it. If a breeze passes by, waves form. If you throw rocks at it, the water splashes. If you pick it up and drop it to the floor, water splashes on the floor. It may seem like water doesn't have a will of its own, that the only way for water to do anything is that something external must be acting upon it. But that...
What y'all think? Does water have a will of its own? I mean, obviously, no, it doesn't. But it's like, it might be the most powerful source, you know what I'm saying, that we have on Earth.
Couldn't be further from the truth. You see, even though water may flow in different ways based on external factors, that does not mean that water only obeys those external factors. Quite the contrary. The water is simply obeying itself. Now, what does any of this mean, and how does it relate to Vagabond or life lessons? Well, during the farmland arc, Musashi stumbles upon a boy living on a dilapidated farm that hasn't borne crops in quite some time. Musashi decides not only to help this boy with his farm, but to help the entire village with their farming so that they may hopefully bear healthy crops. While on the surface, this arc may seem like just a boring detour in the story, but it is far from it. The farmland arc is easily one of the most impactful arcs emotionally and spiritually in the entire manga. Musashi learns so many lessons that can be taken from it, but one that impacted me the most is where he learns it toward the beginning of the arc. In trying to get water to the crops, Musashi tries to make a river out of the rainwater and digging an irrigation way to the farm. But when the river and the crops become flooded, Musashi starts to take a look at the water. He dives in it and swims in the river, trying to make sense of what happened. Musashi starts to analyze and philosophize about the water over several days, and his conclusions are lessons that I have taken with me and refer to this very day. What Musashi realizes about the water is that even though water is contained in things like rivers or cups or teapots, but the water is still completely free. But how? I hear you asking how water can be contained yet free. Because water is perfect as it is. Water does not need to fight the constrictions or the external things that are affecting it. Water simply flows, not concerning itself about what's happening around it. The water simply flows. And since water flows, even when it's acted upon, it is completely free to do what it pleases. Water is absolutely free. And what lesson can be derived from
That's why I
this?
said be water.
In my interpretation, the lesson that is taken from this is that we as people need to be like water. Like I said, water is perfect on its own because it flows despite what may affect it. I believe that if we as people realize that if we flowed perfectly no matter what may affect us,
You know
as
how
long as we
infinite
are
it
in
could be.
accordance with that flow, we are completely free to act as we wish, untethered from external pressures that the world may put on us. No matter what may happen
I
to
never
us,
looked
we are
at, bro. Have you ever looked at water like that? That's crazy, man. That's crazy, bro.
still free to be who we are. This usually manifests in mindfulness, where we are completely in the present moment despite whatever distractions there may be to disrupt our flow. This can manifest in other ways too, such as flow meaning that you're in perfect accordance with something like God or spirituality, your own feelings, or any number of other things. Being in accordance with the flow, despite your external factors acting upon you, is what allows you to see things for what they truly are, tying it back to our earlier lesson. I understand that this can be very hard to wrap your head around. Trust me, it's pretty hard to explain. But the feeling of being in perfect
Should I read
accordance with my
Vagabond,
own
man?
flow has really had a profound impact on me emotionally and spiritually that I cannot overstate. And
I
that
love this shot right here. This shot looks crazy tough.
never
Bro,
happened
got the
had I not
sword
read
going
this
through the
masterpiece
water.
on.
And there's another thing about like samurai, the art of like being a samurai is just dope. You know what I'm saying? Like this sword is scarce. Like it means something more than just a sword to kill people with. You know what I'm saying? Like it's deeper. Just like how basketball could be an art. You know what I'm saying? Like drawing, it could be anything.
Vagabond. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it.
Hey man, good video, bro. Shout out to shoot. Shout out to Zero Superior. Make sure y'all subscribe to the bro, man. Great video. Catch y'all on the next one. No limit, mo.
Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.